Hello, gamers. It's Rubik here with another special episode 24, season 2, episode 2, but overall, episode 24, with three guests, or three hosts in WT, D'Souza, and Wandering Gale to talk you through predictions of what we see happening in the crypto space as well as Immutable as focused space for 2024. How are you, WT?
Doing great. Glad to be back. Lots going on with Gamers Galaxie lately, and let's keep this party going.
Cool. So let's get into it. So the very first subject we're going to cover, there was Robbie and Alex were on a video between two layers and made a lot of predictions, and we're just going to run through them quickly and see how they did. So D'Souza, Web3 game with 1 million players. Did Robbie's prediction come true?
Yeah, technically. I mean, IMVU has that already, right?
Yeah, not on chain games. So
right.
So maybe he did hit it with. Is it really a game? And if it is considered a game, is it on chain? So it's a bit of technically. I agree with you. Yes. What about sideways market? Was he right on that, D'Souza?
Yes.
Yeah. Right at the end, he might have got it wrong because it kind of kicked up right at the end, did it, for a couple of weeks. What about Wandering Gale? Was more regulation of crypto? Did that actually happen, in your opinion?
They're really pushing for it. I don't think they've put any legislations through yet, from what I've seen. Did you guys see anything regarding that? But so I don't think there's been too much more regulation going on. There's been a lot of court cases and a lot of stuff going on around, but I don't think there's been any more regulation.
Just a lot of threats, basically. Nothing, no teeth to anything yet.
Depends on the region. If it's US, there's no more regulations, just more there dancing around, trying to stifle it. Europe has really draconian laws sort of like coming about it, didn't they? But Asia, it has been regulated a lot. A few laws come in to enable it, like Japan removing the law to have to pay on unrealized gains, which is massive. So that's pretty big, big fry. So more regulation, but that's pretty obvious. There's always going to be more regulation, but it wasn't big regulation change like we expected. What about better token design that Robbie predicted, D'Souza?
Yeah, so I think some projects realized that it was necessary, and I think the projects that really didn't have much of a gamer's best interests at heart didn't really care about that anyway. So
yeah, okay, and
I think towards the end of the year we started to see some better design.
Yeah, Robbie was moving on to the next one. He's big Ethereum maxi, and he predicted a shift away from layer ones like Aptos, Sui, and Solana, and even ETH to the layer twos. What do you think, Wondering? Did you think that was actually played out that way?
Well, I think we're starting to see the beginning of that now. I don't think it was happening the whole time this year. I think we're just starting to see people starting to wake up to L2, and I think we'll see more volatility in that sense.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. And it's also there hasn't been a shift away from Solana, that's for sure.
Absolutely. No, that one got really hot this year. I heard a little bit about Sui. I heard nothing about Aptos, but yeah, Solana's been dominating the news, so he was a little wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call out, Wondering. Next one, a lot of companies shuttering or consolidation. What do you reckon, D'Souza?
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen, the marketplace that was dedicated to what was it, Aqua XYZ? They closed down. A lot of projects are shutting down, and And I think we're going to see more of that into this year.
Yeah, Hawku as well for Polygon. It shut down. But yeah, there was also games that just didn't release and died throughout the year, as well as what about the DeFi side of things? Did you see WT see much of that shutting down and consolidating?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was very, very minimal. The beat keeps going on for DeFi. In fact, it seems like DeFi is even making a comeback right now to get some momentum going in the space.
Yeah.
Also,
so it's kind of like
I think like OpenSea completely like dropped to the floor, buried under the sea now when in terms of actual volume of NFTs being traded through there. So.
Then a lot of people go to Blur, right? So a lot of people left OpenSea, went to Blur, I heard.
Well, the big farmers for the points, did that. That's where they lost. But in general, they normally, I think, stayed on. They do a couple of $100 a year, stayed on OpenSea, but the farmers definitely went to Blur. So the big volume guys. Anyway, fewer centralized bridges. I don't even know about this one myself. Does anyone know if that happened or not?
Bridges?
Like sex bridges and things like that. Well, I guess so. There was less. There wasn't any real big new ones come up, was there?
Yeah, I didn't see anything in terms of like new upcoming bridges from centralized exchanges. That I think there was especially in Loopring, there was a huge push for the new block trade feature, which actually allows the decentralized exchange of Loopring to use liquidity for large trades from Binance that it uses to match trades on the decentralized exchange. So that's kind of pushing in the same direction that Robbie was talking about.
Yep, and his 9th out of 10 predictions was less venture capital investment, only for real players, and that absolutely 100% happened. We saw a huge drop-off in VC money going out to anybody, and only the real deal players, especially in the gaming space, won venture capital that throughout the year. So yeah, and then his 10th one, AI will radically change cost structures for cheaper to create. The cheaper to create will happen because of this. What is anyone got an insight into that one? The AI play radically changing cost structures?
I don't think we've seen the bulk of that happen yet. I think most of it's been internalized into different protocols and stuff, working on ways to make things cheaper, and I don't see much of that actually happening yet in terms of AI.
I agree with that sentiment there. I've heard that it's going to revolutionize things, but I've seen very little impact on that going on right now.
Well, directly, it hasn't really seen a massive change yet, like everyone said. But Copilot, which my team's about to install in our dev team, is apparently they did a study midway through the year on. They did a what's it called, a 2,000 person test case where they had 1,000 people use Copilot and 1,000 people not use Copilot to build the same thing, and the people that use Copilot were 55% quicker. So whilst I agree that it hasn't actually, cost structures haven't been overly smashed over yet, there's starting to be a move to it now, and we're still in the early stages of this AI being, the tools being built to enable the game's developers. So people will be building AI tools. They're very new. Just like the blockchain 2 years ago was garbage and it was hard to use. We're starting to see the tools come now that are really easy to use, blockchain or passport, checkout, social wallets, things like that. We're going to see that over this year. So I think it's just 1 year early on that being the full impact. So cool. Alex had only 4, but it was more in-game infrastructure focused. And the first one was game infrastructure improvements like trading and building tools. Did we see that change over this year, D'Souza?
Yeah, I think in terms of building tools, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and next one, onboarding improvements. So social logins and things like that. We definitely saw that. So we don't need to go into that one. Non-custodial wallets. He was saying like that the move away from DeFi custodial wallets to non-custodial, meaning that the chain or the SEX, the centralized exchange, owns your crypto, not your keys, not your crypto, to you owning your own crypto. And I think we have seen a lot of the hardcore degens definitely move away from sexes, but not at a huge percentage. Does anyone have any other insights into that one?
Yeah, I want to chime in on that one. For the longest time, it's been not your keys, not your coins, and people have lambasted for years that, get off the central exchanges. There's been a small sentiment shift that certain exchanges, I'm talking about the premium ones, might be starting to lean towards a little bit safer side. And I know that sounds nuts, but like in the traditional banking system, we just take for granted that our money is going to be safe there, and they have all the protocols in place to protect it. And some of the bigger centralized exchanges, in particular Coinbase, they've never had a major breach, and it's been 10 plus years ongoing. So they're getting some credibility of stability and protection there. So we've seen a lot of breaches in some of these dexes and other places outside of centralized. The play seems like it might be starting to shift back towards centralized exchanges. Not quite there yet, but that is something that's been being talked about recently that I've heard.
Cool.
And also Coinbase introduced their Web3 wallet, which is full, self-custody as well.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's definitely one of the big American plays they've moved to. So that's probably right. And Alex only did 4, and his final one was that he expects to see proliferation of high quality content, at least in beta. And I assume he meant gaming with that. So what did you guys think about that? We'll all have a point on that one.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of quality content out there via gaming. Definitely. You can see it every day on Twitter. People putting out quality stuff from like Guild of Guardians or, and it's only going to improve. So
I've seen an uptick in quality as well, even from the games themselves, putting in the effort and the time it takes to make these cinematics, like even Aldor did, and Blocklords did. And as that gets an uptick in quality of games and quality of and things like that, you see a lot of the content creators follow suit.
And the Web3 space versus Web3 space, yes, absolutely. Web3 versus Web2, no, I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, we have a long way to go for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
think that everyone thought that 2023 was going to be the year 2024 is going to be, and I think 2024 is going to be the end of 2024. Like the last 4 months, last quarter and a third of it was when we'll start to see proper games release. Maybe a couple come out first, and we might have 1 or 2 hits, but not the proliferation of quality content out. And games just, even Robbie quoted 2 to 3 years for a AAA game. That is not the case. It's 5 to 7 years, and the real AAA games take 7 to 10 years. Like Starfield, 7 years. Sea of Sails or whatever it is, Sea or something that's on Ubisoft. That's been built for 11 years now. It's still not out. So, they're the big games of real quality we've got to try and compete with. They take 5 to 7 years kind of thing, minimum, and the really good ones 10 years. So proliferation, maybe not even into 2025, in my opinion. But anyway, that's my opinion. And they did pretty good, I thought, overall. What did you think? Did they do all right?
I thought Alex was pretty spot on. Robbie, I think he missed a few, but Alex, man, he was hitting some solid hits there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on to the fun part. That was I thought we'd just add that in there because it was it was a good one to see. What did we think is going to happen in 2024? That's what this part of the section of the show is going to be about. We're going to give a point each, and I'll ask the questions because I'm the one that written them down, and I can see that no one else will be able to read them because I'm terrible at writing. Sorry about that, everyone. So you're gonna have to listen to my voice more too much.
No, it's fine. You're doing great, dude. You're doing great.
All right, cool. So, first prediction. What do you want to say, Wondering?
No. Oh no, I'm good, dude. Go ahead with your predictions.
I thought you were going to lay some smackdown on me, but that's all right. The prediction for 2024 game section. How many games will zkEVM launch with? Let's start off with that. D'Souza.
I say 5 to 7 games.
You can only say one number. Is someone taking notes for
6.
this as well? We need to take notes. Oh, we can listen back to it. 6 for D'Souza. How
8.
many games,
Gee.
WT?
8.
Jeez,
Wondering?
man, you guys are making me feel dumb with mine. I have like 20 games.
No, this is to launch. The day it launches, how many games
Oh, the
does it
day it
launch?
launches. All right, sorry. So yeah, maybe let me dumb it. Let me trim it a bit. So I'll go for
I'm going to
5. 5. We'll go 5.
5, 6, and what did you say, WT?
8.
5, 2, 5, 6, and 8. All right, we're pretty wide. What about Q2, end of Q2 and end of Q4, D'Souza?
End of Q2, we're looking at maybe about 12 games.
End of Q4?
End of Q4, probably pushing about 20 games.
Oh. What do you think, WT?
This is combined, so this is including my 8 at the original. Q2, 11, and Q4, 20.
Wow, almost the same as D'Souza.
That's total.
What do you think,
total for the year.
Yeah, total games released at the end of 2024 Q4. There's 20 games released on zkEVM from
Correct.
both you and D'Souza. Total. Okay. What do you reckon, Wondering?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to trim my numbers down again. No, but you guys, you're being too reserved, guys. Get out there. You're being too reserved. I'm only joking. But yeah, so end of Q2, let me say 20, and then end of Q4, 50 games.
Nice.
Yeah, that's more like it.
You got a bull in the house.
I've got more than that. I'm the bigger bull. I've got 23 by end of quarter 2 and 60 by end of quarter 4.
Okay. Okay.
I
like it.
I think you guys have. I started off with just 2 on release. You guys were high, and then you've gone through the year without not much of a growth from your numbers. Do you realize, guys? It's 250 games now building on Immutable.
Yeah.
I think you're going to. Some are going to drop off. Some are going to delay. And this isn't betas or play tests. This is fully released games. They can be in early access, but as long as they're like got crypto incorporated in the game, so like you can buy NFTs and use them. That's if you can use the NFTs you can buy in the game, that's counted. Or if you can buy a token or spend a token in the game, that's counted. All right, cool. So that's moving on to the next question. I thought that was quite interesting. Who will be Immutable's biggest competitor in terms of total number of quality games? So Binance is going to win that every time they'll put a polished turd on their chain and call it a game. So what do you guys think in terms of quality games who will be Immutable's biggest competitor? D'Souza.
I think it's going to be AVAX.
Yeah, I'll go AVAX as well.
Yeah,
that's mine as well.
Because you labeled it as quality games, it was AVAX for me. And side note, I don't know, for whatever reason, Wax keeps bugging me. But if I got to pick one, I'm going with AVAX.
Wondering?
Yeah, I'm merely saying AVAX because I'm just looking at Shrapnel. I think it's going to be one of the big games for them, So
yeah, I'm a big bull on AVAX. I think they're shooting themselves in the foot by not being a specific game, and that's why they lose a lot, and also not being EVM like basis. They're kind of like a layer 1 rather than, well, even though they're AVM kind of based. They're kind of like good for DeFi and good for growth, and that's where they've had some wins. They're probably the best place for all that stuff off of Ethereum. Maybe Solana. But they've gone harder than Solana on the gaming, and therefore they're beating Solana, and they're Immutable's partner in crime. Apple and Google, Immutable, and AVAX, and they've got more than Shrapnel. They've got Off the Grid, Providence, Fableborn. They've got that Spellborn game that's like Pixelmon kind of game that's really cool. That's got a big growth number in it. They've got a heap of games behind that as well. There's a game called Cloud Castles that no one ever speaks about, and it looks so good. And I don't know what the game's about, but the graphics are up there with the best graphics I've seen. So, they could even beat Immutable. If everything goes right, with their get big numbers on that Off the Grid game that's launching in Q1. they could be a big threat to Immutable's dominance. And but in terms of quality games, they've got 5 in the top 20, and Immutable's got 5 to 6 in the top 20 as well. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out at the end of 2024. We're all in the same line.
We all agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is a sleeper project that will release on Immutable to unexpected success in 2024? D'Souza.
Oh, this is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go with Chrono Forge.
Yeah, they've had a big uptick lately, though. To call them a sleeper, still, they've had a really big uptick. But they were before the end of the year, before December. They were. I would definitely say I'm on your side. That would have been my pick as well, but I don't think they're that much of a sleeper anymore. They're kind of guaranteed.
Then, I don't know. I think
No.
I mean,
You don't have to
honestly, I think they're still a bit under the radar.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. You can stick with that. What do you think, Wondering?
Sleeper, like there's so many that I could choose from here.
Just one.
You're only allowed one. Okay.
Yeah.
X-Verse.
X-Verse. Oh yeah. That's. They look good.
I think they're going to be a really good game. Like I'm just judging it based off like it nearly reminds me of Fortnite. A lot of these like gamers that play that a lot seem to like that Fortnite style,
Yeah.
So we might see a lot coming to that one.
WT, what's your sleeper?
I really like Infinite Victory. I don't think they're getting the credit they deserve. It's a 60 frame per second action arcade game, and the biggest thing, their game has already been made. The core of it was made like over 3 years ago. They were on the Apple Store. They have amazing contacts and connections with professional sports, Hollywood, and other entities from the financial world in the New York Stock Exchange. Their team has Web 2 industry experience. They have a developer that's worked with Skyrim and Oblivion. If you know that game, it's a pretty decent sized game. They got a leaderboard aspect, which you don't need a team to play with. You can just play by yourself at the moment, but they're willing to expand it into other avenues depending on what the circumstances are. They just have a lot of things going for them, and then they're going to tie in a storyline with lore, possibly some comics they hinted to. And they're not saying a lot about their economy, but they're hinting towards skins and character ownership. I've talked personally with the co-CEO. He's built himself up and plugged himself into some real deal networks, and that's my sleeper pick.
Cool. My one's that's a lot of information, mate. I'm not gonna following that. I'm gonna look like pretty unprepared.
Oh, sorry, man.
No, it's okay. You can say whatever you want, mate. You make me look bad. It's all good. It's all part of the fun. Simwin. I just think that it's gonna have a blowout moment when it gets on Passport and it gets easier to install, and it's betting on NFL in America. It's got 9 massive names next to it. So all good. I think you Decisions might agree with me on that one as well.
I think they still have a little ways to go, but I think they have the definitely the power, the heavyweights behind them. And if they can get a partnership with something like TNT or the NBA officially or NFL officially, then you might see something crazy.
Yeah. So moving on, just to predicting total on-chain gamers. Let's have a guess at end of quarter 2 and end of quarter 4. What will be the highest reported on-chain gamers on the whole zkEVM? This is
a hard one. I'm gonna go with 100,000 and 200,000.
Wow. What do you think, Wandering?
Yeah, mine's is pretty much the same there. So I was like 150k to 200,000.
WT?
Yeah, this one was hard for me to judge because I don't know what parameters I'm going off exactly, but if the quality of marketing is done well, I was thinking like 1.5 mil for IMX.
In quarter 2?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, then I'd cut that down to for quarter 2, 500K, and then by the end of the year, 1.5 mil.
Yeah. Okay. I've done 850K at the end of quarter 2, and at the end of quarter 4, 5 mil.
Oh,
5 mil on-chain gamers. Guys, use a bear. Use a bearish on this game.
No.
Sorry,
It's hard for me to judge with the parameters. I don't know what the parameters are of what I'm dealing with, and I'm trying to be somewhat realistic. So, but you might have a better judgment of that. So you might be dead on.
Well, they've got a Guild of Guardians is going to be out, mate, by then. And
True.
if you don't think they're going to have 5 million players on it, then they failed miserably. So that's, I'm betting on it. I think they got the marketing budget. They got the proper, and I've got a backup game as well. That if that fails, then they've got Blade of God X. So they've already got 5 million players on their Web 2 versions. So Passport, download the same easy bang login on Immutable zkEVM. You can see every time someone plays, bang, 5 million players. So between the two of them, they should get to 5 million. That's my reasoning.
Gotcha.
What about in all on-chain games? End of quarter 2, end of quarter 4. What will be? We might have to try and work this stat out. But what do you think the total on-chain gamers in all of blockchain gaming will be advertised at in end of quarter 2, end of quarter 4? D'Souza, sorry.
I think it's you're looking around 1.5 million for Q2, and total for Q4 you're looking at about 5 million.
Okay. Did you answer that, or was that all? Sorry. No, that's it. I mean, D'Souza's just coming out with the facts, the hard, cold facts. That's it. Nothing else. What do you think, Wondering?
I was thinking 1 million to, and then Q4 it will be 5 million as well.
All right. WT?
Quarter 2, 2.57 million, and then we'll wrap it up at the end with 5 million for total space. And again, I put an asterisk next to that. It's going to depend upon the quality of marketing that they put out there to lure in new people.
Yeah. Total on-chain gamers for me, quarter 2 is 2 mil, quarter 4 is 10 mil total players in on-chain gaming by the end of quarter 2024. Did anyone want to add anything else about that?
Just you're a mega bull, and I love it.
I hope you're right out of all of us. I hope Rubik's right.
Yeah.
Well, mate, you got to believe in this space or not. That's the thing.
Well, I do believe in it. It's just I'm trying to be.
We die, mate, as an industry if we don't get, if we have 200,000 players total, like at the end of quarter 24, I think that's a massive fail. So I hope it's not. Could be right. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have said it. I'm saying very much so it could be right, but it would be a massive fail for Immutable, and then anything under 5 million to me would be a massive fail. So who will be? If Immutable
I'll tell you what I'm basing that off of is we're looking at Illuvium right now, and it's one of the best looking games out there yet, and they're like barely pushing 37,000 people playing monthly.
Yeah, but
I think it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a while for people to catch on. That's why I'm sort of keeping reserved.
I agree.
I might be off. I don't think it's a massive fail like you think it would be if we got less than your numbers. I think it's a step in the growth process, and I'm just trying to. I'm not trying to be a bear, but I'm trying to be realistic about the space versus what the rest of outside the space thinks, and that's probably why I'm basing my perceptions lower.
I think that's based on PC gaming. If this was a question for PC gaming, I would absolutely have that lower. Well, I'm thinking about mobile, Google Play Store. Yeah. Oh, that looks like a fun game. Download it. Oh, that's Passport. Log in. What's this? Oh, it's just the authentication system. Log in, playing the game. Oh, do you know that you own these NFTs? These things, if you want to, you can sell them. That's going to be the Trojan horse. That's going to bring the players in. It's going to be mobile led first. So
that's true. I never even thought of that. That's a very good point.
When we get to our predictions later for other things, that will alter my numbers potentially for what I just said too. So we'll get to that later though.
So who will have the most on-chain gamers outside of Immutable, and try to remove bots from that list?
So Ronin's
out. Well, Ronin's out. That's for sure.
D'Souza, who will have the most on-chain gamers outside of Immutable?
I think we're looking at AVAX as well.
100% AVAX too.
I didn't write this one down. I don't know who the hell I'm going to say. Who did you say? WT.
Wax.
Wax. You
Yep.
think they're going to come back?
No, they got a lot of
some-
users now. They got a lot of users now. I mean, they're.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna stick. They've been around longer than anybody. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, but they're also a huge amount of bots, mate, on their alien worlds. And
that is true.
Splinter
That is
Land.
true. Yeah.
I think. Honestly, if we are in a bear market, going to a bear market, I think Ronin will. They clearly have huge amount of third world, or should not allowed to say that anymore. Yeah, developing world countries population that are just all in crazy for that. And whilst it's not going to benefit the chain or the games by having people that don't have the finances to invest, they still have a lot of numbers, and they have a huge amount of psychos that just love Ronin for some reason, and that's great. So is that going to make them successful in the long term? I don't think so. But if we don't have a bull market where a breakout game, then it will be Ronin. If one of those games that I believe in, like Off the Grid or Shrapnel, take off, I think it'll be AVAX as well. So I've kind of like sat on the fence, haven't I? There, I'm not supposed to do that. Cool. But yeah, moving on to token. What will be the highest and lowest point of IMX token throughout 2024, the Suze?
I think we're at the low right now. I think
But it just hit?
Yeah,
Like just
I think
a couple days ago?
Yeah, I think we're $2.10 around that area. We're about at the low that we're gonna see, and I think that it could go realistically on the low end. I think we could go to about 20.
Wow. What did you think, Wandering?
Took the words right out of my mouth. I completely agree with Desus there. We're at the low now, and the only ways up from here.
From the low that just hit from the Bitcoin Jim Cramer call out. Yeah. That it went down to $1.92 for like 5 seconds and then bounced back up to $2. You're saying the $1.92 is the lowest it goes to in 2024. Both you and D'Souza say that. Okay. And D'Souza says 20 high. What do you say high?
I'm going to be a bit more bullish, even though that is very bullish. But I'm thinking maybe $40.
Wow. Holy smokes,
dude! I can retire if that happens, mate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, IMX. I support you, but I don't support you that much.
Oh man.
Dude, I really think $40. With all these games coming out and the volume that could come with it, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised we'd be up around there. But maybe I'm being too bullish.
No,
Sorry.
No.
I like it.
I've done it. I'll comment when it's my turn on your prediction. Go on, WT. What was yours?
Okay, so 2024. Worst case scenario, World Economic Forum comes out, blames crypto for all the problems in the world. They shut down the internet for 6 months. Everything crashes. Worst case scenario, IMX.
Take the tinfoil hat off, mate. Just give us a prediction.
IMX goes down to $1.10 minimum, but that's probably not going to happen. I think if they hit every stride right and everything goes according to the Ferguson factor plan, we hit $8.50 for the high of 2024.
Nice. I reckon we're going to dip somewhere early on, and it'll go down to $1.60 again. So it'll dip down to 30 cents somewhere soon, and then after the rest of the year, it's going to rise, and I think it's going to get to $18. So not quite the Suze levels, not quite a bit higher than WTs, or nearly double that, and nowhere near Wanderings. But in terms of that, I've done the math, mate. Like, what people don't understand is that once the flywheel starts, people don't want to sell, and we also get gas. We also get gas token benefits coming in as well. So every gas transaction goes back to holders. It was only 1% yesterday or today, which is the lowest I've seen ever on the rewards for. So lots of people are staking now. People can sometimes dump after that, but it can get to $100. Like
what?
Everyone. Sorry, go on.
I gotta ask this. You're talking about this. If that flywheel gets going, how much better do you think that staking platform gets?
No, it can be. People will catch on and start staking. That's the problem. It's going to keep it low for a while. So we need 10 games that are big hits, like Axie Infinity level hits, to really
bring in the volume.
Hit that $40. So we could be 2 or 3 years away from that. And
Okay.
so we need a CS:GO, and we need kind of volume, 33 billion over 3 years. So, and then maybe 4 or 5 other games that do something like that to get to that $40. But the staking reward, people are going to see that actually it's going to be different. It's not going to be a token that you get for the pump and then sell, and dump on your. You dump it, you run the risk of losing out in that flywheel, and people don't get that. And so, once it gets to like, if Immutable becomes the thing that we believe it will be, it could easily get to $100 and be a multi-$100 billion. The steam of Web3. If it gets to that, it could get to multiple $100s. So I've done the math. I've done the thought about it. And people think, oh, that's crazy talk. Steam's only worth $8 billion, but Steam doesn't pay people money to play games. So it's different, So we'll see. I don't think it's this year that comes personally, and I think Wandering's a bit early for probably a year. But I don't know, probably I'm hopeful that it'll get to my level, $18. So, but I think the Susan and I were in the similar ballpark, so maybe we're right. Hopefully we're right.
I'm happy either way, 20, 40, whatever it is, as long as it's up,
Yeah, I'm never selling my tokens. I'm going to live off the profits of the ecosystem. So that's, if anyone else is, I don't know, what do you guys think? Are you sellers or holders forever?
I'm just going to keep accumulating is my plan.
Same here.
Yeah, so I think if people start to catch on this, it could really start to go to the moon, especially when the games start launching after zkEVM into quarter 2.
Right.
Who will be the leading gaming token at end of 2024? So this has to be a pure gaming play. So a Solana and AVAX don't count. They'll be potentially higher than Immutable based on their DeFi side of things. So to make it a fair, Immutable's winning now. Who will be the leading gaming token? Will it, if it's not Immutable, or if it is Immutable, who is the next biggest one? D'Souza.
I gotta go with Portal Coin.
Portal Coin.
Yeah, they have a lot of a lot of games that have already dedicated themselves to using it, and I think that they have a pretty strong marketing push, socially, and a lot of people are going to be farming it, and I think after the initial airdrop from farming and stuff like that, you'll see a major crash, and then you'll see it come back because people realizing hey, they actually need to use it for stuff. So
Interesting. Wondering.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to change mine to Portal Coin too, because that I did. Just reminded me, there was a big marketing push for them, and it does seem like there's a lot of holders within that token. So yeah.
Who did you have?
No, who did I have? I had Ronin.
That's cool. Ronin, they've got a lot of support behind them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I had them, because
they don't have to do anything, mate, and they could make it pretty big,
Yeah.
So, what did you think, WT?
I don't think I understood the question very well. I thought this was a trap when I read it. I'm going off of who's gonna have the most total market cap, and everything I know. I was like, this is a no-brainer. It's got to be Immutable. I felt like this is a trap. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
No,
but
that's exactly what we meant in the question. So I just added the end, sprung it on you to say, what's your second one if it's Immutable?
Honestly, I'm assuming a bear market. It like you said earlier, it made a total ton of sense. If it's a bear market, yeah, Ronin's gonna Ronin's got the crazy fan base that are gonna be there no matter what to get their token pumped. So if it goes bear, yeah, they're gonna survive because they've got the volume to support it. Versus Immutable does not have that the psychos that we would love to have.
Can I just chime in again? That's my real pick is IMX all the way for the gaming token by the end of the year. But if it's not, these were my second picks after.
Yeah, that's what I said. If it's IMX, pick it. I'm pretty sure we all think it'll be IMAX. It's already leading. So I've got a different left field one. I don't know if you've heard of Scale before. SKALE.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of not just exclusively gaming, but it's got like a big gaming focus, and it's got a gaming kind of a ecosystem, like this thing called Nebula. Maybe I'm cheating here because it is not just gaming, but they seem to be very gaming focused. I think they're starting to get a little bit of momentum. They've won a few cool games like X Society, Heaven's Compass, and a couple other games based off. They did a really smart thing. They put out a cricketing game, and they've got like 100,000 daily active users playing that game, and it's if you know anything about cricket in Indians, there's about 1.5 billion of them, and you make anything at all about cricket, they will then download it. So that's what they're very smart. They're able to quote that number every single day, in their marketing pieces, and it's looking like they're gaining some momentum. Maybe they're not just a gaming play, but it's a little left field. Keep an eye out for Scale. They may end up, taking some market share.
Nice.
All right, so that's about halfway through our predictions. Moving on, we're up to crazy predictions for 2024. What is yours? Let's change it up and go to WT first for the second half. Or what's your thoughts, WT?
Are we talking about for Ronin predictions, or what are we doing here?
No, that's next. Just a general crazy prediction for Immutable or anything at all, actually.
Oh man, I totally missed that one. You're gonna have to circle back to me on that one. I did not see that part there. My bad.
What did you think? Wandering?
For a crazy prediction, I think this ETF is going to fail, or it's not going to pass, and for Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin's going to tank. I think I don't want to get too deep into it, but I think it's just a ploy to get Wall Street bags full before a market collapse. So, yeah.
Really positive, mate. What about you, D'Souza? What do you think? What's your crazy prediction for 2023?
2024.
That one too. I've written
man,
2024.
I don't know. Crypto's so freaking all over the place. I'll go to the opposite of what Wandering says. I think it does get. I think the ETF does get accepted, and I say that Bitcoin actually pushes above 60K.
Wow. I'll go next. That's interesting. The Bitcoin boys have gone. I'm going to go focus on Immutable with this one. At some point in 2024, Robbie is going to say there is 1,000 games building on Immutable.
Nice.
That's my crazy prediction. Did you think of something yet, WT? Sorry, if you don't, we can just move on.
No, I got something. I had to get my thoughts because I was looking at something else, and so I was not in the right state of mind. Yes, 2024. We continued the craziness since 2020 ongoing. We are going to get a CBDC out of some form of government somewhere, and people are going to sign up to it because they're going to offer freebies to get into it, and they're going to gladly accept it like they do everything else. And Bitcoin becomes an ultimate store of value. They try to rant and rave about banning it, but they can't because it's not bannable. And more people start to learn about what it means to have a sound money. And like I always say, good people and money goes where it's treated well. So people will slowly flock into it and then expeditiously flock into it more and more as we go over time. And that just slowly raises the value of crypto, and we get into a digital currency world.
Awesome.
Nice. I like that one.
So while we're with you still, what was your Ronin crazy prediction for Ronin in what does their 2024 look like?
So Ronin's really threatened by Immutable. So to combat Immutable's onslaught of pure announcements, Sky Mavis promotes Kagi as Robo Farmer CEO, and he goes on a mass campaign of more pump, no dump campaign to rally the troops to fight Immutable, but they fail.
What do you got to say about it, Wondering?
Yeah, I agree with that one. That was a good one, dude.
Did you,
But yeah,
did you have any?
I didn't have anyone for this one, but I agree with what WT said there.
Alright.
So I'm going to piggyback off it.
My prediction is more shit tier failed games are going to go and get milk those dummies over on Ronin Network throughout the year. But they're going to have diminishing returns from the first projects like, Pixels had 100,000 players / bots. Axie's got relaunched the game. They've got 15,000 players on that. And Aperion only got 11,000. The next one gets 9. The next one gets 8. The next one gets 5. And then there are too many of these people trying to do this. And the diminishing returns happens from that effect.
Can I chime in real quick on that? Real quick. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. I mean, we seen the blueprint with Axie. How many are people that stupid to fall into that again? Seriously, like.
Yep.
I agree.
What was your pick for Ronin? This is.
I think that Jiho's alts get exposed, and
who?
Yeah, he's good.
And, I think that the Ponzi scheme that it has been and continues to be gets exposed, and I think the SEC actually comes down and takes action on them.
That's crazy.
Zeus with the fucking heat.
I actually like Jihoz. If he wasn't the enemy, I think I'd actually enjoy a beer with him. He loves Elon Musk. He quotes Trump all the time. I love hearing like Trump memes. They've cracked me up. So there's a few things he talks about. I actually like, and he follows me. I don't follow him, but he follows me. So yeah, it's weird. But apparently he follows everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, because you got to keep your enemies close, man. That's why he follows you.
Okay. Anyway, we'll see. Moving on. That's enough airtime for Ronin on this show. Yeah. They get a lot, don't they, on an Immutable focus show. But they are fun to bag out. So just the absolute blinders on people. It just cracks me up. Anyway, moving on. Biggest disappointment of. This is a one looking back as well as forward. What was the biggest disappointment for 2023 for you personally, WT?
Yeah, without a doubt, 100% Undead Blocks. They had all the momentum going. They had the support of Immutable via when they launched their weapon skins. They were enhanced via the IMX blessing, and they had a mobile application going. They had a new map coming. They had allegedly partners coming in. All the hype, all the momentum, and then just boom, just stopped. I don't know what happened. There's a lot of drama around it. That by far, in my opinion, it could have been so much more, and they dropped the ball. And I don't know what's going to happen from now on.
What was your biggest disappointment in crypto, Wondering?
Mine's is might get flack for it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think the GameStop marketplace sort of disappointed me a bit. We haven't really heard much from it, and it doesn't seem like. I'm hoping when Player comes out, it brings more volume into the GameStop marketplace. But until then, it's probably one of my biggest disappointments.
This is.
I think in the wider crypto space, I think the biggest disappointment was Pepe.
Did it dump?
Yeah, it totally had a lot of that meme factor going for it. Definitely could have made a lot of money for a lot of people. And classic fashion, devs kind of pulled a rug on that stuff. I think in IMX terms, one of the probably there's a couple. I think Momoguro was one of them.
Yeah.
Definitely a huge disappointment there with a lot of hype and a lot of big name characters and things like that being involved, and it just being not even a game, not even a comic, not even, I don't know what you call it.
The story.
Yeah,
a very minimal one, a minimal one as well. That was mine as well, actually. The Momoguro disappointment. was my Immutable.
And then I think also another one might be Kaizen, Project Kaizen.
Yeah.
A lot of people into that. A lot of people put money into it as well, and definitely got screwed.
They got fined like millions of dollars and forced to give refunds to people and forced to not say that they're an investment. That's Kaizen. So I understand why they might have disappointed a little bit. So they were forced by the SEC.
Yeah, I want to apologize. Yeah, my ADHD kicked in. I thought you were talking about Immutable. If we're talking about in crypto, just quick chime in here. XRP was a huge disappointment for me. They were the only other token in the entire space that would be deemed not a security next to Bitcoin. And their pump was very minuscule. And for everything that we've had expected in that coin for the last 5-6 years, it was kind of a dud so far. Big disappointment.
Yeah. My crypto biggest general disappointment was Solana bouncing back. That's a joke. I actually kind of coming around with Solana a little bit. So, but my actual real one, and I said I wouldn't announce and mention them again, but it's if Ronin looks like it's, if it does keep its momentum and it does win crypto, it got rich off the backs of sending about 50,000 people broke in the Philippines.
Ouch.
Whilst there's one story of someone being able to feed, like I fed a lot of people fed their baby with playing as scholars, but there was more people that left, lots of people that left, borrowed 2 years or 3 years of wages to buy a team, and then a couple of weeks later the game crashed and they weren't able to make their money back, and now they've still got this debt they've got to pay back, and that happened to a lot of people. I have a friend in Australia that introduced his brother to me. He said that he wanted to get into it, and I said to him, mate, it's a bit late. I wouldn't do it if I was you. He took out a 10K loan from his dad. He quit his job, spent $50,000 on it, and then he went broke, and now he doesn't talk to me, and his friend, a really good friend of mine, doesn't talk to me anymore. So there's a little bit of personal animosity there. They knew that was going to happen, and they pretend that it wasn't. It was very clear that was going to happen. I was telling everyone for 3 months, don't buy teams. This is going to crash soon. Unless they bring out something to sink the SLP, this game has to, every 5 weeks, you have to double your players in the game, and we're at millions now. And so you need, instead of a couple 100,000 new players, you're going to need millions and millions and millions within a couple of weeks to be able to keep on keeping this payment up to everyone. And so if that wins, that's someone that got rich off a Ponzi scheme, and then also the hack and that. So I just find it disappointing that the wider community supports that kind of organization rather than real organizations like Arbitrum, Immutable, AVAX, and then they're behind this scamming organization rather than an actual real organization that's building real stuff. So that's my biggest disappointment.
I'm super angry right now. Now I'm mad. Now I'm mad.
Anyway, so moving on to what's your prediction for the biggest disappointments in 2024? Crypto general and Immutable focused. What would you say there, WT?
The biggest disappointments for 2024?
Yeah. What did you predict?
For Immutable, they are taking on with their strategy of taking as many games as possible to find the next big hit to break into the mainstream. They're gonna have some smaller indie games that go by the wayside that they can't focus on, that possibly go onto other chains, and because of that they miss out on those few opportunities. That is my biggest disappointment for Immutable in 2024. For the crypto space, Web3 space, whatever in general, regulations come down super hard and crush the industry for a while. Not permanently, but for a while.
Wondering?
I couldn't really think of a prediction for Immutable, but I done one for crypto, and that goes to the Bitcoin ETF again. Yeah. I think that's going to be the biggest disappointment.
D'Souza?
Man, this is kind of tough. It's a little bleak thinking about it. I think that we have another year of not so great betas. Hence my low numbers and predictions of how many gamers we have and stuff like that. I think we're gonna have another year of betas and not necessarily full releases for Immutable. And prediction for the biggest disappointment in overall crypto space would be kind of have to go with what WT was saying. I want to say that there's going to be something from a regulation standpoint that's going to put a damper on an otherwise bull market.
Yeah, interesting. I spent ages trying to think of this IMX biggest disappointment of 2024 prediction, because it's like you don't want it to happen so bad you don't want to say it. You know what I mean? So I went with a different angle. For Immutable wins big, and it gets, like I said, 60 games by the end of the year releasing, and 5 million gamers. Ronin fails, and then all the influencers on Ronin start to jump ship and ride the coattails of Immutable, pretend that they didn't fight at IMX day in, day out, and as if they were part of the journey. That's going to be disappointing to me, because I know I welcome them, because the more the merrier, but inside I'll be thinking, I remember you and what you used to say on Twitter every day about Immutable. So yeah, that'll be my biggest disappointment, not being able to say to them what I really feel, because we really want to make a welcome environment for them.
That's going to happen, definitely.
It's going to happen.
I'm just picturing that right now.
We can't tell them. I can't go to Raggy. You're an absolute, beep, 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 beep. Because you can't, mate. Because we're Immutable heroes that are a representative of the company, and everyone's welcome in the end. But personally, I will have to keep my mouth shut. Anyway, that'll be the biggest disappointment for me. And the next. And the greater community, I think Ethereum's in trouble. The narrative is very important in, this cheap gas fees and all that. And we all know that layer 2 is the answer to that, the zkEVM especially. And there was talks of a unified Ethereum prover, where any of the ZKs can prove any of the ZKs, which will create the channel or the stepping stones to make all ZK's interoperable. So you got your token on ZK, it's on ZK. It doesn't matter which one you use, Tyco, Scroll, Polygon. And that would be really disappointing for me if that doesn't take off. There's talk of it, but there's no commitment to it yet. And I think we'll see that go ahead and it be a non-starter because of greed, and that will potentially hurt Ethereum in the long run.
Interesting.
Thoughts? All right, we'll move on. If anyone's got no more comments on those. To the last section, the biggest winners. What was your biggest? I bet this is not a prediction. This is the biggest winner of 2023 to you. What was it, WT?
Oh, without a doubt, crypto space, Solana by far. Token price wise, was it legit with all the airdrops going on? I don't know, but whatever. The numbers don't lie. Their token went freaking crazy. The amount of dApps and apps that they spurred up around their ecosystem. They put out a average phone and it's sold out, and you have to go on the secondary market and pay through the nose to get it. So whether or not it's a quality product, they spun it to hype, and it's a sought after commodity right now, and it does integrate with their products, and that's the ethos of the Web3 space. Rewarding your holders via token price, utility, and what interoperability does your ecosystem have with each other, and they really honed in on that. So they were, in my opinion, the biggest winner in the Web3 space for 2023.
Interesting. Wondering?
Yeah, I would go with Solana too. They did have a magnificent run there. A lot of people seem to have switched over to it from Ethereum, so Solana had a good year.
This is
I don't know. I would go with I guess meme coin traders and farmers. People farming airdrops and things of that nature. I think a lot of people had some big wins this year doing that, because there wasn't really much in terms of NFT projects that really took off.
Yeah. Okay. I went different to you guys again. I believe Immutable was the biggest winner in 2023 because I care about gaming only. I don't really look at the DeFi side of things too much. So I really looked at it from that lens, and just to see the infrastructure they've laid out, the partnership with Polygon just ended their number one competition. They become partners, and it's just shown we've gone from being a potential winner to looking like being the outright winner of gaming. It's a pretty safe bet, if you ask me, right now, that they will be the leader. Only other competitor probably is AVAX. So in my mind, the technology is right. The technology's end game. So what they've built this year behind the scenes from a dev's perspective, which I am, is why I've chose them. Moving on to the next question. What was in 2024? What will be your prediction for the biggest winner in crypto and the biggest winner for IMAX itself? What's your prediction for what will be the biggest winner for them? WT.
For Immutable, I'm going to double down on my past proclamations. Microsoft collaboration will be coming in 2024 with Immutable X. It's going to come to fruition. I'm going to be validated on this from this that I've been saying from years ago. I've seen the writing on the wall. Microsoft is in the space. Immutable's got the best product, and they're going to get together and make sweet, sweet love. It's going to happen in 2024. If not then I will triple down in 2025. That's going to happen. For the overall space, the industry, large companies come in. I don't know which one. If I had to lean towards one and pick one, gun to my head, it's Nintendo. Nintendo has a history of being innovative and trying to be cutting edge. And I know no one's talking about them, and I'm really out there on the on the diving board, but I could just see Nintendo coming in and taking a big leap in this space and embracing it, just based off their history.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Wondering what did you have for these two?
So I think you'll like this one. This is sort of answering both questions with one answer. I think Rockstar Games is going to come into this space. And I'm hoping to God that they work with Immutable. So that's what I think is going to be the biggest winner in 2024. I'm not saying for certain they're going to work with Immutable. I just hope they do because of the way Immutable has made it so easy. And I've just been reading into some of the it's tinfoil, but I like it.
Do you think GTA 6 or another game, another IP?
I think GTA 6 will have crypto in it, but I don't know if it will be solely Web3, but I think their next launch will be a Web3 based for Web3.
So their tweet about smooth brain crypto bros was just like was a smoke shield, to put people off the scent.
Dude, I think that's just them poking fun. And Rockstar, they like to poke fun at things. Okay. And they could be, I think that's a sign that they're interested. And we already got like a VP from Rockstar working with, what is it, Wanderers? So, I think they're interested.
Hasn't been 15 years.
He's an ex-VP, I know. Still.
15 years ago. Nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Rockstar now.
I know, but...
I'm more skeptical than you on that one, but we'll find out.
I love that one. I love that one.
We'll be doing
I'm getting so hot right now thinking about that.
We'll do a review show.
Don't take that serious. This is just my tinfoil hat.
Mate, we're doing a review show at the end of 2024 to see how we went. So you got to put your money where your mouth is, mate. Let's see what happens.
I hope he's right.
Hopefully, dude. We'll look back and laugh, maybe.
Yeah. Every single one of us will be wrong about everything. Do you have a final prediction for Immutable and the broader crypto markets, D'Souza?
I think the biggest winner for Immutable is definitely the zkEVM launch and integration of Passport. I think it kind of unifies the entire front, allows for non-crypto native users to come in and allows them a seamless way of interacting with assets and games for signing up and things of that nature. Biggest winner 2024 for all of crypto. I think it could be gaming, just in general gaming. Whether it's IMX or AVAX, I think the entire gaming industry as a whole is taking notice. I like the idea of Nintendo or some big gaming juggernaut coming over. I know Sony has the put in the patents to actually deal with NFTs on consoles. So I know that the companies have put in the research and the effort to figure out how they can get a piece of the pie, and they see that they're losing users to it. So whether or not it's a console company like Microsoft coming in with Xbox or anything like that, or just Microsoft as a company, as the gaming side just comes in, that'd be something pretty big. But I think the gaming sector of crypto definitely wins in 24.
Yeah,
nice.
Kind of like similar to that. Finishing this out with 3 points. I think the 2024 IMX catalyst is that the people start to see what we've all been so excited about. So we'll start to see people go, we get it now, what we have been talking about. Guild of Guardians will, I believe, pull 5 million players, daily active users, daily. I think it's a big, huge game. They've got the right team behind it, marketing, easy game to play. I don't need to go into it. I already spoke about it. And maybe they've got a second chance with that Blade of God X as well. So Asian market is where these numbers of gamers will come from, and we'll finally be able to say we've hit mass adoption in Web3 gaming, and it won't be from the American market. It'll be from, or the West. It'll be from Asia. That's it. That's our predictions.
Yeah, baby.
That's what does everyone think? Feel free to comment in the socials, on our Discord, or in wherever you're seeing this advertised, this show. Let us know if you think we're full of crap, if we're right, what you think, anything at all. Tell us, what did you think about that, boys? Did you enjoy doing that session?
Absolutely. Pumped up about 2024 coming for the entire space and Gamers Galaxy. We got a lot of momentum going. If you want to help us out, hit that like button, repost this, comment below. It helps the algorithm to get this content out there. We are going to be working our butts off to provide all the resources and information that we can for Immutable, and in return, if you could help us out with that, it would be appreciated.
See you next time in episode 25.